What's up, everyone? And, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who's watching this live and watching the replay, especially for those who are, subscribed to this channel. My name is James Harris. You guys know me already. And I have my lovely guest here too, Shell. How you say your name? Shell Book and Candle? And so,
Yes, that's my YouTube channel. Yeah, Shell Book and Candle. And then I
okay.
have, yeah, and then my Instagram is Your Spirit's Hand. I'm kind of going through like almost like a branding. I got to figure out which one I want to stick with, but I'm here on YouTube. I'm Shell Book and Candle.
Yeah, so if you guys want to just show support when it comes to her, her channel is linked in the description below if you want to just check out her videos. It's really cool. Or just really ask her questions too when it comes to with today's topic, talking about energetic consumption, when it comes to certain foods, how it affects us, physically and also energetically in our own well-being, if we're on a certain spiritual path and other stuff too, because even just like with us talking about this topic, just off of social media, I was like, huh, that is really interesting. This is how certain foods or even just like products too, like if you really just want to break it down, that affects our, energy and even just with our
Mm-hmm.
bodies, nervous system and muscle tissues. And, we're not nutritionists, but you just want to have an open
Right.
discussion with you guys too. And especially for those who are in that kind of field too, in the wellness industry, who are nutritionists and love or Ayurveda or just like with anything too, just to really have an open discussion about that too, just really sharing your perspective or even just resources too, if you want to. So when it comes to with that, and also too, because just like when it comes to with like certain foods, like with me personally, I mean, I love food. I mean, even just right with me, I have like my snacks with me. Even though, like, like when you're a kid, like you used to eat everything like Pac-Man, you just gobble gobble, and then you just like you feel okay. But as you get older in your 30s and 40s, it's like, damn, I gotta watch what I take or what I eat and
Mm-hmm.
drink. And it's like, yeah, even with me too, because like I had to cut back on a lot of stuff I used to love. Even though I'll probably have it like, every blue moon, kind of like a Slurpee or icy too. But right now too, even with me, I drink like supplement water, even it's like molecular hydrogen water or electrolytes or mixed with both, and add some herbs to it too, like Tonga Ali. That kind of really helps you bring more energy. So especially for those who are working out or they want to just please their partner, they want to just please their partner too when it comes to with that.
Sound like a porno star.
Not like that, but you
Yeah.
guys get what I'm saying too. So, Shell Book by Candle, if you want to talk more about this topic too, for anyone who's listening, especially, during the Thanksgiving weekend, it's probably, it's like a couple of days away. And especially in America, people gather around it with their families. They eat like, mac and cheese and collard greens, and turkey, ham, deviled egg.
Mm-hmm.
So
Pie.
yeah, pie, strawberry pie, peach pie. I think I said strawberry, right, or apple.
You said
So
strawberry.
yeah, apple pie. And or even just like I'm not gonna say the other one. I was gonna say putang pie, but I'll be saying
Sound
this.
like a porno star.
So I
Hilarious.
want to be appropriate for YouTube standards. So don't come at me, YouTube. So I'm gonna
Okay.
let bring the mic to Shell Book and Kendall. If you want to talk more about this, feel free.
Thank you. Yeah. So with everything Jay explained is, I agree with all that. And when it comes to food and the spirituality behind food, a lot of different cultures and religions will have certain boundaries or like no can do with certain meats or foods, or people choose to be vegetarian or vegan, things like that for different reason. And then some people do full carnivore. And so however you're feeding yourself, I just hope that you're being able to be full and be nourished, because that's a blessing. But something that I've been noticing a lot lately is just your body will tell you what you need. And I'm not necessarily talking about cravings. Like when your body craves sugar, there's a lot of conditions like PCOS and things like that that women have where you crave sugar, because your body has an issue. So I'm not talking about your body telling you to eat Snickers or, you have a lot of MSG, so you want to, you know what I mean? Those things are like a drug and they make you want to eat more. I'm talking about when you're like, you're mindfully and spiritually healthy and your body might be a little bit off. And your body will tell you what you need. Like, hey, all of a sudden you're like, I need fresh greens. I need to cut back on this. I need less carbs. I don't want that. You might have start having food aversions like pregnant women do, and just kind of like dodging the junk food like a curveball. So spiritually, everything we eat, we should be really mindful of it. After having children with myself, I've gone through different stages of cravings and things that I want, where I've noticed that the more after each pregnancy, the thing that amazes me is that I start craving the foods my husband likes. So it's almost like his DNA takes me over and I like the food he likes, but like extreme. And I dislike the things that I normally like. But
Oh,
even when you're pregnant, you need to be mindful of what you're eating and not give in to the cravings. But if you're eating meat or you're eating plants, I believe that those things have spirits. They're alive. Animals were alive before they were killed for you to eat. They have a spirit. The person who killed the animal or operated the machine, that person has a spirit. Fruits and vegetables, plants, those things are all alive. I believe they have a spirit. And so you need to be mindful when you're putting those things into your mouth of what it can do to your cells and to your DNA and to your bloodstream. So I'm in no way like a fitness coach or somebody that's really in shape like I'd like to be. That's something I have to work towards. Like Jay said, like even when I was younger, I could eat whatever, mac and cheese, hot fries. I was very active, and I can consume a lot more. But as I'm getting older, my body's like, no, 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 no. So another thing is I just did a video on blessing food. And a lot of people, I'm sure you know what I mean by blessing food. You just say like a set prayer before dinner, just a prayer, just to be thankful for your food. But in the video, I go into a little bit of a detail explaining that blessing your food isn't just being thankful, it's about cleansing your meal. So you want to, the person who, we just talked about Thanksgiving, for example, you're going to go around family members, and I hope that you get along well with them and their intentions are good towards you. But you're going to have people who maybe you're going to do a potluck, or you served food. Other people are going to serve your food. You're passing plates, you're passing things. Folks cook things and get, you know what I mean? Each of those people who cooked are putting their ashe, they're putting their energy into that meal. So let's just say the person doesn't have bad intentions, they're not out to get you. They still have emotions. They go to work, they need money, or maybe a relationship they have, something's happening, things like that. You know, you get where I'm going with that. So that those emotions and feelings and the spirit of that person is being put into your food. So when you bless your food, you're not just saying thank you, Lord, for the food, things like that. You need to ask that the person, whatever energy was put into the meal, that it's separate from the nourishment that you're going to get from it. So the spirit of the food, but then the energy of the person who cooked the food for you. Even if you're going to Carl's Jr., let's just say you're making an in and out run. You don't know the person fixing your food.
you know, not to stop you there too. And I want to talk about the cleansing part that you said a little earlier. But just by today, I just had in and out. So that's a, I was like, okay, because with my dad, it's just like, hey, you want something to eat? I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And I can say no if I want to. It's just like, it's like, okay, I'll just have a little something for lunch and all that. But when it comes to with the cleansing of that, tell me more about that too, because I really find it interesting, and especially for those who are curious about that as well. You're well welcome to share. So if you,
So yeah,
yeah.
so when I say cleansing, like I said, you want to pray over your food with intention from the heart, where you're asking that not only is the meal nutritious for you, but that any emotion from the chef or any intentions from the chef or the person who served you the food or the spirit of the animal or the vegetable on the plate, that you're cleansing that energy because you don't want to consume that. So I
Mm,
believe in prayer, and I believe in magic practices where they really take intentions and prayer seriously. Our words are powerful. People don't realize it, or they do, but they just can't. They just let it go and they don't think about it. When you speak over your food, it's you need to be intentional because you want that food for nourishment to make you feel good, not for somebody to unintentionally or intentionally put bad energy into the food that's going to go into your body. Um, so you basically however you want to phrase it, you want to like really sit there in prayer over your food and just, say, clear away energy, like I said, from the person who made the food. If whether it was intentional or non-intentional, whatever energy, if it's not good for my body, if there's no place for it, if it's negative, I don't want to consume that. But then you want to make sure you're getting the full nourishment for what you're eating. So you want to be thankful for that animal or that food, the vegetable, whatever it is. So you're giving gratitude, thanks, and praise, but you're also asking that it be cleared so that you can just consume it for what it is and not any extra juju put on it.
Mm,
Um,
true. Yeah.
yeah, so that's something that, and even with drinks, people love going to Starbucks. You like to go get a milkshake. If you don't think that those baristas are swamped with college or tired or have relationships, you're wrong. A lot of those people, they're not happy. Some of them are, but a lot of people are having hard times right now. And sometimes let's just say you're someone who's well off and you go to a Starbucks. It's human nature. Jealousy is human nature for a lot of people. That barista might be working her tail off and want what you have. You're in a nice car, you have cash, you tip her well. Rather than her being just like, oh, cool, this person has it going for themselves, they can have jealousy towards you in their heart. And then they're giving you a drink. And that person doesn't really care for you, have the best intention because they're jealous. You're going to consume that
Yeah.
drink from the person. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah. That's true.
it's my belief that there is no separation from spirituality and life in this realm. They go hand in hand, and that's why a lot of the times when those things are off balance, we feel like crap. So food is no separation from the spiritual world. People give food offerings to their deities. um, we feed each other. We give food. Food's a love language. Everyone knows the saying. What is it like? The key to a man's heart, the way to a man's heart is through his belly. So
Yeah.
that right there sounds like
Like,
magic to me. You know what I mean? If a woman can cook a good meal,
yeah.
you're gonna keep your man. So food is
Mm,
such a big deal, and here in America we have an abundance of food. You have restaurants, any culture, Indian food, Chinese food, Japanese food, Mexican food, Puerto Rican food, Greek, they have like Lucky Greek or these any type of food you want, they have. So we're in America. It's like a place that's very spoiled. um so you just got to be mindful of where your food's coming from and who's giving it to you before you consume it.
yeah. And I'm glad that you brought this up, and especially for anyone who's listening too. And especially what you put in your body, it's really important to really just recognize that spiritually. And, because spirituality and wellness go hand in hand, like kind of like, y- with anything. And just when it comes to with food, centuries and certain cultures, indigenous cultures too, they use food as, like celebrations or even just like
Mm-hmm.
rituals, self-care rituals, or even just with anything, like even with plants, like, like with essential oils, I talk about it all the time, but there's the origins go back to like, ancient cultures who use that just for, to bathe, to eat, to make drinks, have a good time, etc. And it's just like, in today's age too, and especially like in certain areas too, where you have an abundance of what you can eat, you can really, like, even just like if you live in Southern California, you can really, walk down the block, you could get like a Starbucks drink, or if you can really just, go to like a, you know, farmer's market, get some fruits that's not like has like GMOs or anything like that too. Or just like with anything, go to like a dispensary, just really getting your favorite medicinals, essential medicinals, I call them too, So it's kind of like with that. And it's really important to really just knowing what you're consuming and especially doing your own research. There's nothing wrong learning from like people who are educated and certified when it comes to with nutrition and everything else, which is totally cool. But even as a consumer, and especially when you're buying certain products, not just like in person, but also like online too, just really doing your own research, trusting your nervous system, your instincts, your energy body, to really just like say like, do I want to add this to my body? And especially not your physical body, but also with your energetic body too, because energy is
Mm-hmm.
it's in our cells, it's in our, you know, everything from living beings to plants, trees, food, and especially food. I mean, like when you take a sip, like say for example with me, I got this like molecular hydrogen electrolyte water that I've created too, and it's got a lot of really good energy, and I kind of really put that intention just to give some energy throughout the day, do what I need to do and all that. But sometimes too, like maybe like, hey, that sounds cool if someone's interested in that. But also people are different because we have different biochemistry, cells, DNA. And it's like maybe I don't want to have molecular hydrogen as water. I just want like something simple, just as straight up ice cold water, which is totally cool. I mean, that is your choice. But also too at the same time, it's really good to really just do your own research and really just trusting your instincts too when it comes to with that. And also too for anyone who's just like likes to do their own research, I have a really interesting video that I just saw this morning, and it's just gonna really blow your mind too. And it's like about Campbell soup, and it's just crazy. And this is from Cerebral Talks TV. And so shout out to her for. Let me see if you guys could pull up this video too if you guys want to share. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Cerebral Talks TV, and shout out to her. She was really talking about like what that Campbell Zook executive says that chicken in the soup is bioengineered, and it's crazy. So when it comes to with this, we're gonna play a little bit of this clip and set. And if anyone wants to just talk about it, and especially you, Shell Book, and just like if you want to just stop at certain areas too, just feel free to let me know. And shout out to Cerebral Talks TV. She gets all the credit for just researching this as well, and people who are involved in the video too. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this clip too, and this is really, really wild.
If you ever needed proof that they're messing with our food supply, watch this video. I just posted on my other account. If you don't follow me there, do. It's the Holistic Soul RN 2.0, but I was like, I gotta put this over here. Everybody needs to see it. Look at this. If you ever wondered if they are messing with our food supply, let me show you something.
I've never seen anything like this.
Did you see that? Have you ever seen it? Like, is that a papaya, right?
It doesn't look like, it looks weird to me, so I don't know what that is.
Yeah, because usually papaya has like seeds in it, like and it's
This
just
looks like dry.
yeah, it looks weird, like something like I don't know, like just like doing your own research. Even like when I go to the store and just see certain things, and it's just like even just with that, it's like, dude, those bananas should be looking that big, or even with grapes, because usually grapes are really tiny, right? Like from nature, and like whether they're green or black or red, and it's like seeing these gigantic grapes that are bigger than my finger. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, I think that here in America, well, I know that they get fruit from different countries, but when fruit's grown in the proper season and in its natural like habitat or its area where it can grow, like mangoes and things like that, and other places where it's tropical or something like that, they're much bigger and juicier and better than what we have here. But I think a
Oh,
lot of what we have here is like genetically modified, or they're doing something to enhance it, just like the chicken legs that are like, they're mass producing fruit and animals to crank
mm,
more out. So yeah, that's weird. But I believe if you were to go over to like another country, like if you go to Puerto Rico or Florida or somewhere where it's tropical, it's like the fruits are gonna grow. I don't think you can grow bananas over here. Like
yeah,
I've seen like the banana trees, but like it's like they're so small they don't get past a certain point because they're not made this. That's not where they grow. I don't think we have the right what is it, like moisture in the air and
yeah,
temperature. I'm not sure, but it's not, they're not able to grow properly over here. So
because
when those
it's dry
giant,
here too, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a tropical. It doesn't make sense for tropical fruits to grow over here. It's
hmm,
like it doesn't make sense. So
yeah,
yeah, I guess like I think some of those ginormous fruits that we see, they're probably growing them somewhere here, and they're like injecting them with some kind of growth serum. I have
yeah,
no
and
clue.
yeah, to me, it doesn't feel right because it's like you shouldn't be messing with the natural order of things, especially when it comes to nature, like how certain foods are actually grown in the climates. And I'm a nerdy hippie, so you guys probably know me already and said this millions, heard this say this millions of times. It's like when it comes to with that, and especially when it comes to with foods, it's like, seeing something that doesn't look right, and even just I was saying before, doing your own research, watching videos from other people who are talking about the same things too when it comes to food. I like, things in America doesn't look right. The weird looking fruits and vegetables, or even just with other foods too. It's like, is this shit made in like an evil science lab? It's like, yo, like what happened to really just like appreciating nature and really just giving it respect and not trying to like, disturb the order of things too. And I know I'm sounding like I'm talking shit, but to be honest with you, it's like if you see something like this, like when it comes to this video, don't you want to feel like this sometimes?
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. And it's like, you see stuff like that, and it's like, you have to catch this too, especially before you give it to your kids. Because, like, if your kids go to school too and they eat school lunch, I mean, I grew up eating school lunch on some days. Well, mostly in high school, I had school lunch, but through elementary and middle school, my mom would make my lunch for me. So I knew where my food was coming from, and I knew that it was prepared at home. So, but nowadays, your kids go to school, and it's like, I don't really know. They keep eating pizza, and then their stomachs hurt. So, this kind of stuff that, I don't know, you could show that to a kid, they might be like, yeah, that's how it looks. And it's like, what? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you got to be real careful.
Or like people from other countries, they see foods like this and it's like, wait a minute. In my culture, like, or if they're from like a different country or have like live a different lifestyle, it's like, this doesn't look like this from where I'm from. It's like weird. And especially for those who are from those kind of, areas too, from their, you know, backgrounds. And it's just like really questioning what you're putting in your body and just being aware of that too. Like usually using your third eye, just like, wait a minute, this doesn't look, it
Exactly.
doesn't feel right. And it's like, seeing something like this with this papaya, it's like, what the hell? It's to me, it's heartbreaking in my opinion, because it's like I love seeing fruits that are naturally grown in their habitats, and not just like fruits and vegetables, but also plants too. Peppermint, lavender, lemon, you name it too. Mangoes, especially. I love mangoes. I mean, shoot. You guys know this already with the mango smoothie thing I released a while back in this channel. So it's like, yeah, it's just so weird, and how you know, in America, and I don't want to get my channel all taken down like that, but it's just things are weird in America right now. I'll just leave it at that, So, and I know you, Cecily, because you're a mom and you're just like a really dedicated person when it comes to with your family, and you're really just, you know, aware and really just careful about what you give to not only to yourself but also to your partner and for your family too. So, and especially for anyone too who's a parent out there, whether you're a dad or if you're a mom, grandparent too. And it's just really good to really just being aware of that stuff too, especially to all the fake GMOs and even just with other stuff too, even like not just with food, but also with other products too. I know like I talk about essential oils like doTERRA, like they do their research when it comes to safety because they really care about, you know, people's health and all that, and other companies too, like Lumivente, they when it comes to with molecular hydrogen water, because it's H2 certified, and with doTERRA, it's certified too when it comes to certain things. And so I'm not trying to like put other companies down, but when it comes to with actual research and really just, talking about that, like with doTERRA, they have like a way for people to really just check the safety of their essential oils, which is really cool. Give the consumer to do their own research, to just question it too when it comes to with that. And with Louis Vente, just really learning more about that. Not you don't have to learn about everything, but also to really just, just really just taking some notes too when it comes to with that, knowing that like a product is H2 certified and it's safe for consumption, and just really being careful if you have like certain conditions, just before taking it too. So that's really cool. And same goes with doTERRA too, because they put labels and making sure people are using it safely, which is really cool. So, but like with foods too, and especially like I know like if you want to share more about that, Cecily, you want me to continue to play this video, or you want to just
Yeah,
talk more?
roll the clip because I'm interested in seeing where this goes.
Yeah, shout out to Cerebral Talks TV. She does her research when it comes to certain topics, and this one really just brought to my attention because it really connects to what we are talking about. So Yeah, let's roll it.
I've never seen anything like this.
I feel like there's something in the food. Now all of a sudden being like, what the actual F is happening? This, my friends, is evidence, whatever that may be, that something is up.
Everything that happened in this film is relevant today. In fact, we're headed there. And some people say, baby, we're already in Soylent Green. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. We are getting into it again. I'm talking about our food here in America. What is going on? Look, there are a lot of people who believe that we are eating people. The bodies are not being buried. And we know that Bill Gates, he wants us to eat lab-grown butter and meat and all of that. Some people said, baby, it's been going on for a minute, longer than what you can imagine. Okay, so I know a lot of you are hearing about an audio that just leaked. Okay, it says that a leaked recording reveals the Campbell's soup, the Campbell's executive shocking remarks about the soup's ingredients. Okay, that is bioengineered and more. And look, I stopped eating Campbell's chicken noodle soup a minute ago because the meat never seemed like real meat to me. You know, the little squares of the pink meat in there. It didn't taste like meat, and it just didn't taste good to me. The entire thing just seemed off. And there are a number of people who have said this, but now, baby, I'm going to play the audio and we're going to talk about it, as well as I'm going to show you other people showing the food, how it's not molding, how fast it's rotting, and the chicken. I want to show you something because I actually had this happen to me recently, and I had to throw the entire chicken breast away because there is no way on earth I was going to eat that. And yes, we're also going to talk about Soylent Green. I know a number of you in the comment section are going to bring up this masterpiece of a film. Some of you haven't seen it, and I'm going to tell you, you know, I'm always putting you on to movies and everything like that. So let's see what was said about Campbell's Soup, the executive of Campbell's Soups. What's going on here?
A former Campbell's Soup Company employee is taking legal action against the food giant, and he's making some explosive allegations about one of its top executives. Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Those allegations are now at the center of a lawsuit claiming the company's vice president went on an hour-long tirade attacking the company's products and employees before taking aim at its customers.
And the former employee recorded it all. Eric Erickson shares that recording and what the company is saying about it.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit?
And that's just part of an over an hour long.
Did you hear that?
I believe he said we have bleep for poor people. Basically saying their food is only for poor people.
That is totally beyond fucked, man. I'm sorry for cussing, but I just got to keep it real. That's beyond fucked, man. And it's just like, why, like, as like companies who are supposed to give like quality products, they're just doing that to people, and I don't get that. You know, I know it call me naive, but that's just, it's not right. If this is like actually true, I know it's good to really just being aware about certain things and question everything, but yeah, that's just crazy, man. How do you feel?
I just feel like that's just probably the truth of what they're doing. I mean, the companies, they have a target audience, and so if your selling point's lower, you know that you want to be accessible to poor folks or people with less than other people do. That's who they're targeting, you know. That's an old company. Campbell's goes back.
Way back, way
Remember the
before we were
Campbell's
born.
soup? Yeah, Campbell's soup commercials during football games, right? Remember that? That was with Campbell's. So it goes way
And
back, and they have a lot of
sponsorships.
people endorsing Campbell's, and this guy just really ripping the company a new one. And some people aren't going to care, but a lot of people are going to care. So
Yeah, and especially the ones that are really being aware and health conscious too, and not just like for themselves, but also for their families, for their kids especially, and parents who want to just give like their families and their kids the best quality food when it comes to just like with anything, not just like with soup, but also with like, you know, fruits, vegetables, sandwiches, you know, snacks too, especially. And if companies are making BS products that's just really affecting, the youth, that's just really messed up. That's evil, you know?
It is.
Yeah, because like even with back when we were kids too, like it was probably I'm not sure if it was different or it was like the same. Like I don't know. What do you think, Cecily? Because I'm totally confused right now.
It's
Honestly,
been the same chemical foods when we were younger, I think, or maybe they were less chemical. I don't
yeah,
know. I know when I went to my granny's house, she would make everything from scratch, but I know she did have some Campbell's soup there for rainy days sometimes. I never liked it because it was too salty, and
yeah,
so that's something that I didn't like. But I mean, folks like our grandparents, they did with what they had, and these things were coming out new for them at some point, and they trusted. The world went through this thing. Well, I mean, now I know people believe what they see on the internet, but before, when TVs were there and they were getting the news and new products would come out, older generation would trust and believe that and follow all those things they told you to, because they didn't think they would be told wrong. When we were
hmm
kids, I would have ramen, I would have Kool-Aid, um, juice from the can, the frozen juice in the can, you add water. I would have all kind of stuff, and I didn't feel bad from eating it, but I was little, so I don't know. I mean, I don't keep Campbell's here because I don't like it, and I can easily make my own chicken noodle soup for cheap. I can go buy
yeah,
some chicken breasts, cook it, cut it up. I mean, it just takes a few ingredients. Some
yeah,
gluten-free egg noodles and some, you know what I mean? Like it's not some veggies, it's not. But and the thing that's really messed up here is that if their target audience is poor people, what makes you think that lower income people don't deserve healthy food?
exactly. Like everybody should have like the access to get quality food as the
Yeah.
rich elites and everything. Because like health is wealth. No matter if you have like $1 billion or if you have like a few, it's just like health is wealth. Like, when it comes to with the body, because what we put in really just affects our cells, our skin, DNA, energy body, especially our nervous
Yeah.
system, making decisions. And it's just like, for companies who are just really, exploiting their audience and really just giving them crappy stuff energetically, it's like, that ain't right. That's some evil shit. I look at them like this. No,
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
it's just like evil. Like because I always keep quiet about like certain topics, like when it comes to like stuff like this. But when it comes to like with what we consume, energetically, and especially with certain foods and how it affects us,
Yeah. And I know
it's
we all have free will to choose what we want when we have money to shop, but I don't think that food on the shelf should have any type of extra dyes and ingredients that are harmful. Like I don't care if I have $5 or 5,000. What I choose, what I have the choice to spend my money on, whatever I choose, it should be healthy and it should be edible and consumable. Why would
mhm,
you put nasty stuff into food and give it to people? Like I don't
yeah,
understand that. Like no matter who's giving the dollar, the food should be edible and it should be safe. Like you wouldn't go chew on a yoga mat. So why are you putting basically the same ingredients from a yoga mat into food? Like
exactly. It's
like the
just
McRib. Like I wouldn't go chew on a yoga mat. So
yeah,
why are you doing that? You know what I mean? It's like
right,
what?
right, right.
Well, because they want to make money.
Yeah, and that's another topic of its own, and it's just like, whew, I mean, I just do some research about when it comes to abundance and wealth, but it's just like, yeah, it's like that evil overindulgence when it comes to just really preying on certain people and giving them crappy stuff just to make a profit. It's just not right, because
Nope.
everybody should get the best quality food, no matter if you're a man,
Mm-hmm.
if you're a woman, if you're straight, if you're gay, if you got a family, if you're single, and it's just really having the best qualities of food, especially from like cultures that are actually from that kind of culture, from Greece, from Spain, Mexico, you name it. Quality food is quality food, energetically, how it's, grown, how it's, created, so where people are not exploited. Just really giving this respect, like you were saying earlier. And just like for companies to really just making crappy products for us to consume, it's just not right. But
It's not.
it just breaks my heart. And I'm just saying that, metaphorically and literally. And it's like, man, because even with me, like, when I find out because I used to love Skittles back in the day, like when I was a kid. For those who know me, when I was a kid, I love Skittles. And ever since I did my research about it, even just like going to the gym in 2012, and it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna cut back on Skittles from what I've read. It's like, damn, I know I love Skittles, but that stuff ain't good for you when you get older. So it's like now I
Yep.
get plant-based stuff too, and even just with that as well, like replacing the Skittles and the jelly beans to eating like Nature's Bakery Big Bars, which is plant-based and homegrown and stuff too. And even just like with like soda, I mean, because I don't, with soda it was like a hit or miss, but like even just with that too, I drink a lot more water than ever. Even just like electrolyte water, molecular hydrogen water, I just discovered recently. And just really, for people who are listening to this, and especially if you guys are watching a replay, just doing your best to doing your research and really just put in the right stuff to fill up your body too, because your nervous system, it's always good to liberate that, and especially, for yourself when you're going to work, or if you're taking care of your family, or if you're just playing a video game too. Like, the foods do affect you when you play certain games. Like, like when like someone drinks like a monster drink, they'll be really like online, playing GTA online, blowing things up, spazzing out. It's like, bro, like, what the fuck? I was like, what are you doing? He's like,
They're
but
like wired.
not just wired, they're just all over the place. Like, blah, 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 blah. It's just crazy, so it's like, damn, they're like this, so it's like, I know like Kenshiro, he's a really balanced fighter on Fist and the North Star, but sometimes too, it's like, certain people, they act like in a certain game, they like they say like they're like high on like weed or other things, or even just eating like certain sugars. And even with the monster drinks too, it's like they're like this. It's like, bro, like chill, I'm just doing a mission. It's like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? It's just crazy. And so yeah, it's crazy. Let's play more of this clip too.
Okay.
So if you ever want to stop me, Cecily, just let me know. So
Okay.
yeah.
Long rant, says former security analyst for Campbell's, Robert Garza of Monroe.
I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
The recording allegedly of Campbell's VP.
He said he doesn't want a piece of chicken that came from a critter.
Let's hear that again.
Yeah, because I'm like, what? Wait a minute.
Let's hear that again. I'll go back. Let's do that.
Engineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
He said 3D printer. The fuck?
Oh, a 3D printer?
I think that's what he said. For those who are listening to this, feel free to elaborate. That sounds crazy.
That's horrible.
What the actual fuck?
The recording allegedly of Campbell's VP and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally.
He has no filter.
Bally, along with another supervisor and Campbell Soup Company, named in a lawsuit filed Thursday. The suit claiming Bally made racist remarks, admits to coming to work high, and Garza fired for coming forward.
What do you think about the things that he was saying?
Oh, just pure disgust.
Garza says he usually worked remotely for Campbell's headquarters based in Camden, New Jersey. But thinking he'd be discussing his salary with Bally, he says the recording taken in person at a restaurant.
They couldn't think for the like you dumb
Garza says he felt sick after the rant, deciding to go to his direct supervisor in January, keeping the recordings to himself.
He had never had any disciplinary action. They had never written him up for poor work performance.
Garza says no one at Campbell's ever followed up, and it's taken him 10 months to find a new job, calling the way the canned soup company handled it simply terrible.
They have a motto, like we treat you like family, here at Campbell's, come work for us, we treat our employees like family. That's not the case.
We did just receive a statement from Campbell's that says, quote, if accurate, the comments in the recording are unacceptable. They do not reflect our values and the culture of our company. We are actively investigating this matter.
Okay, look.
That sounds like they're just covering their tracks. How you feel
Bogus. Yeah, they want to have something said on the books because I'm sure they have a lawyer versus having like nothing said at all. So I believe employees know better. Employees are out there doing the footwork and they're in there day in, day out, tooth and nail at work. So they would know if they're getting treated like crap or not. So I believe that guy. I believe the guy that was going on the rant was telling the truth about the food. And I believe that the other guy went and told on him and they didn't make any reports because companies, I've noticed like they don't, even the company I work for, they don't hold anybody accountable and they cover things up and they don't fix the problem for as long as they can. So I don't know if it's just some companies or a majority of them, but it's disgusting. So
Yeah, it is. And it's just a weird state how things are too, especially with our food supply. And it's just, it's just like with companies, if you guys want to just make the best quality products, just make it healthy. How simple is that? And like with me, because I'm a solutions based, like person, and it's just like, why you gotta exploit people to really just make a profit? That's just the most evil, like comic book shit ever. It's like you're no different than Doctor Doom or Frieza or fucking Dark Side too. It's like, bro.
And stop cutting corners too. Like, don't sit on here and make up stuff on the outside of a box so people buy your product and you cut a bunch of corners. Just like, come on, just do it straight up. Because you know what? A lot of people can cook these things at home with ingredients that they can get, for a good price and they can make it themselves, but they're shopping for convenience and companies need to stop ripping people off who want convenience. They want convenience. They don't want sickness from long-term consumption of garbage.
Yeah. And it's really good for consumers to really just do their research and really just not only think with their wallet, but thinking with their nervous system, with their energy, body, and, in all in general too. And it's just like really doing your best to really just using your judgment is like, should I get this product for myself or for my husband, wife, kids, especially? And just really trusting that too with your especially with your nervous system, because that really affects our, daily thinking, actions, judgment, and just really doing your best to really just doing that. And especially for those who are really health conscious, not just energetically, but also mentally, physically, spiritually, etc. Just really doing that the best way that you can. You don't even have to put on companies, but just really doing your research just to, what if I just like say, hey, maybe I can really just don't have to buy this, really processed, evil lab kind of food. I can really just grow it in the backyard or just really
Exactly.
That's like the cool thing about like gardening and how people are getting back into that, which is really cool because I was really curious how to do that. If I could grow my own kind of pasta or mangoes and all that too. And it's just like, if I had the money to do that, I'll do it in a heartbeat. It's like, just because like I care about our planet and I care about people's well-being. I don't want to exploit people. Fuck that shit. No way. And it's, how things are right now. And it kind of puts me in a sad, kind of place too, because I don't want to like fake the funk and put in a smile and say everything's all right. It's like, no, things are weird. And it's just like, it's like, I don't want to fake the funk. It's like, if people say I'm sad about something, I am, but it's not about me. It's about the whole collective. It's like, what the hell? And it's like, it's like, how can our food supply is kind of crap in America, but like other places too, like in, Japan or even just other places, it's a lot better. And it's even with like, if our food is banned from other countries, that says a lot. Take note
Ooh,
of
it
that.
does. It does. You know,
Yep. And
this
it's true
girl,
too. You can look it up on YouTube, on social media.
yeah,
It's a lot about this.
this girl that I know, she took a trip to Europe, and I don't know if she was just putting on just because it's like a thing going around about European food being better and cleaner. When she got back here, she was eating our food and she started getting sick. She was
Mm,
over there for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and so she started really getting used to eating there and without the chemicals and things like that. So her body had done a detox, and then when she came back here, she was just had it coming out both ends, and she was having stomach cramps and really just messed her up, and like something it made her menstrual cycle irregular, things like that. So why is it that in Europe and other places they can have clean foods and sustainable foods and honest companies, and then here it's like I don't understand, especially because we're the land of the free, and America is really proud of who she is, and it's like you gotta you gotta walk the walk and talk the talk, you know.
you know, not
You
cutting
can't, like you
corners.
said, yeah, like you said, you can't be faking the funk. Like, come on, the people need to be healthy.
Yeah, and especially like for people who are active workers, who are nurses, policemen, people in the military, and people in the medical field too, nurses,
Mm-hmm.
doctors, people in the wellness industry, fitness coaches, entrepreneurs like myself and you, Shell Book, and just like with anybody else who's like a wellness, not just like a influencer or just like a coach or anything like that, but like a consumer or a practitioner. And it's just like, what when it comes to wellness, it should be like simple, but also like, I don't know what's the word for it too, because it's not like a one size fits all. It's like, people from different cultures, they have like different
Mm-hmm.
bodies and structures and values and DNA too. And it's just really good to eat foods that really just connect with our ancestry, our spiritual, ancestry, and just really connecting with that in a healthy way. That's not
Yeah.
like doesn't have like GMOs, but it should be all natural. So that's
And
just my
another thing, I'm sorry, what was that?
no, go ahead. I was done. So go ahead.
Oh, so I'm sorry. When it comes with the DNA, like you said, I just want to touch on that and say that, we all actually have, due to our DNA and our different ethnicities, we all have different needs in our body, like different vitamin needs. Maybe one civilization need, what America's a big mixing pot now, but when things were first being moved, people being brought here, people being moved away, they started feeding everybody like the same foods, and it's like we're
Um,
coming from all different places around the world, and we have different nutrient needs, I believe, and different vitamins that we need and minerals and things like that. So it's not a one size fits all thing when it comes to nutrition. It's really not. And I know these days people seem to not care that much about like DNA or things like that. They only want to take certain aspects of it. But if you do some research on that, you'll see like different civilizations need the different amounts of vitamins and nutrients than others, or less than.
Yeah, and like in different cultures too, like in India with I know you've heard of Ayurveda, when it comes to certain foods and how
Mm-hmm.
it really helps with the people who are connected with that culture and spiritual path, really consuming the right kind of foods and certain
Of
seasons.
course.
Yeah, and even with our people too, Cecily, like we're obviously different and we're built different and like certain foods affect differently too from other people as well. And it's not like a bad thing too, because it's like, our bodies process different. We have different, facial structures, skin cells, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, you can't like bunch all people to the same kind of like health, like eating regimen or lifestyle too, because people are different and we should really
Yeah.
just appreciate and respect that, especially if you're a man or a woman from indigenous cultures.
Yeah, and they can try to make it one size fits all with nutrition and health, but it doesn't work. Like
Yeah,
that's why
people
I
would.
think
Oh, sorry.
that's why I think people have different reactions to vaccines and things like that too, because I don't
Yeah.
think we all need the same vaccines. I really don't. I know they're trying to make you immune to the same sickness, but there's other things that I don't think that every race doesn't need. I think maybe some of us may have some type of built-in resilience already, or our body produces a certain amount. Maybe another civilization did not. But I think that's why people will have uh, bad reactions to certain, medications or vaccines, because it's not a one size fits all solution. It really is not. So
Yeah, and just to add to that, we're not like doctors or anything like that. We're not giving out any false information.
nope,
So
we're not nutritionists, we're
yeah,
not
they're
preachers, we're
using
not
products or
teachers.
expecting it. And it's just
Nope.
like when it comes to with that, like people have ways to just support their overall health. People like to use natural remedies, essential oils, ointment
Mm-hmm.
sticks. I'm just giving that example, or even just with other stuff too. It's like, sometimes like, when it comes to if someone feels like down in the blues, like, they can really just like say, hey, that, like if they have like a runny nose, they could take like a warm lavender hot bath just to help with their sinuses and pores. Or maybe they, when it comes to with other stuff too, there's ways to just like to take care of your overall health, but it's not like we said before, it's like a one size fits all. And it's really good for people to really just recognize within themselves to really just trust in your intuition and your nervous system when it comes to with their overall health, and just using your own judgment with that, so it's just like
Exactly.
if you want to use like a ointment or natural remedy, especially if you want to use it in a safe way too, and just really doing your research, doing like your own research too when it comes to a certain products that you want to get from certain people, and especially for your overall well-being, not just for yourself but also for your families too, just really doing that. And so, and you have probably heard this from different content creators doing your own research, which is totally true. So it's like, just hearing that, and even just when it comes to just like, from me basically too, and just really doing your own research basically. And that's pretty much what I can tell you. And it's just like, especially if you're a parent who has a family, or if you're someone who's really health conscious, who's just really like, maybe I
Mm-hmm.
should use other stuff that can help me to not only to consume like when it comes to with certain foods and drinks, but also with other remedies too, when it comes to with that with plants. So it's kind of like with peppermint, you can really use that to, sometimes they make tea out of it, but also they can really use a spray just to spray your room around to really make your nervous system feel more energized, or using lavender, sprinkle it with some Epsom salt to really just help you to relax, especially if you're taking a shower, to really liberate your nervous system as well, to make it feel more relaxed if you feel kind of
Mm-hmm.
related from dealing with people's bullshit and feel like you had to say something like this.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So it's like, I get it. People are weird, and and it's like with human nature. I'll probably get into more about that in the future with the shamanism stuff and all that. But when it comes to with human nature, it can really just be unique and weird because we all have good qualities and bad qualities and healthy qualities, weird qualities. And it's like it's really good for people to really just doing their best to really just take care of their overall health, learn from their mistakes, but also what we put in our bodies too, especially because our body is a temple. If you really just think about it, how certain cultures really appreciate how the body is a temple. You really just cherish,
Mm.
especially when it comes to like with not just men but also with women too. It's like it's really powerful stuff. And I know, like, I heard this in like Greek mythology and Egyptian mythology and other mythologies too, how the body is a temple, and how people in certain rituals and spiritual practices and lifestyles really practice that, and especially in tantric practices as well. And it's really good to really just doing your research and just really practicing that in your own way, basically. And that's what I'm continuing to learn and educate myself too, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like tantra is not more than just sexuality and disciplines. It's really all about just like just evolution too. And especially when it comes to with like, certain foods and what we put in our bodies, it's really important to really just recognizing that within ourselves and just doing our research and just, I'm saying like a broken record, but you guys know what I'm talking about too. So I'll let
Yeah.
you
And
speak to it.
yeah, that's all. I agree. And speaking of that, you may have seen me even yawn a few times because I have had such a busy day today. Really think about your day and how you start it, with what you're eating throughout the day too. Because for me, it's like, okay, now's the time that I need to get a snack to energize me, and then we'll have dinner around 5:30. But 3 o'clock is a time where I can cut up some fresh fruits or have a smoothie or something like that, no matter the weather, and put my spirulina in there or whatever I want to add into it. It's like your body will give you cues. So sometimes if you're sleepy, it doesn't mean you need to get coffee or something like that. You might just need to hydrate and have something that has natural sugar or something that can wake you up naturally, or you just need to go take a nap because you listen to your body.
Mhm.
And it's just so important throughout the day to listen to your body and eat accordingly, with how you're feeling. There's no need to, I believe too, if you're over consuming and you have to overeat, that's a big sign of a spiritual imbalance. It could be a physical health condition, and also it's a lot of mental. If you have a lot of mental fog and stress, that makes you just feel stuck and all you can do is lay there and eat and scroll, or you're scrolling on Instagram watching food videos, food vlog, or food shorts, and you just want to go eat after that when you weren't even hungry. You know what I mean? So be
Yeah.
careful with
Yeah.
yourself. And another way too to have better nutrition throughout the day so that you're not just overly splurging and consuming or under consuming is to adjust your day, switch it up on yourself. A lot of people, we wake up and we'll hold our bladder and get on our phone right away, and that's not good.
Mm.
And we're all guilty of it, I think, of waking up and checking phones and things, but you got to switch it up and really
I
surprise
know.
yourself. Yeah,
Right.
so like I keep plants next to my bed. So rather than getting on the phone when I wake up, I have my phone on silent throughout the night. It's not near me at all. And I wake up in the morning, I can reach over and I can touch my plant. And it's like giving it a handshake and just touch the leaves and wake up, get up, stress, relieve my bladder, come out, light some incense. Um, be careful lighting incense on an empty stomach. You can get very nauseous and dizzy. So if you are going to light incense first thing in the morning, take it outside. I stretch. So switch it up on yourself. If you're purposely fasting, that's good. But if you're somebody that just makes yourself like drink a bunch of coffee in the morning, hold your bladder, smoking cigarettes and doing stuff like that, and then you wonder why later on in the day you feel like crap, well, switch it up, and really like give yourself that grace, but give yourself that respect and love to switch it up and give yourself the proper attention and nutrients throughout the day, because nicotine and coffee, baby, that's not it. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And also too, to add to that, just really being careful not to overindulge. I know I probably said this too like a couple times energetically when it comes to with the sacral chakra and all that. But when it comes to like with overindulgence, if we're eating certain foods that if you're not hungry, you just got that
Mm-hmm.
kind of like desire and lust to just like, I want to try this. And just like if you're not even hungry, it's like really just paying attention to that with your energetic body, just to feel like, oh, am I overindulging just because what I saw on social media or on TV or from other person? And when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
certain products that you want to consume energetically, and just really being mindful with that with yourself, and also too what you hear, what you see with our senses, because when it comes to with like what's out there too that we consume energetically, it's all around us, from certain drinks, foods, or even just stuff that we listen to and put in our skin and everything else. Just really being careful with that, not to overindulge, to try to like, copy somebody or just like connecting with that. Because I know it's really normal for us to really just connect with our peers and the community, which is nothing wrong with just connecting with people, but also just really being careful not to like push yourself too far or to really just overindulge where you don't have to, just really
Mm-hmm.
listen to your body, listen to your senses, listen to your nervous system, especially to really just say like, hey, maybe I don't need this right now, but I'll just really take note of it just for later reference so I can really just try it. So just really practicing that too. Because even with me, like overindulging, like financially and stuff like that, I was like, oh, maybe I should learn more how to really just value just not only abundance, but also learn to really just balance that, But also getting back to the topic of with food, energetic consumption, just really doing our best to really just balance that, just really putting in the right kind of energy towards our bodies to energetically and physically, because our bodies are a temple, especially when it comes to with our senses, our nervous system, with our physical body and energy body. It's really good to really just taking care of that for our overall well-being and just really, you know, doing the best that we can just to, putting the right kind of stuff in our bodies, energetically and physically. So that's pretty much
Exactly.
like I can share because again, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not like a
Nope.
doctor. So it's like I can't give out medical advice, but as a coach and as like a wellness consumer, entrepreneur, or even just with that or influencer, however you want to call it. I don't like to say labels, but I'm just putting it out there. But it's just really good to I like to encourage people to really just do their own research. And if they just want to just say like, hey, I want to just like, learn more about molecular hydrogen water or essential oils, I'll help you out every step of the way. If they don't want to, that's cool. And that's fine with me because really listening to your inner compass and especially with your nervous system is essential 100%. So I
Yep.
just want to let that be. So you want to share anything
Okay.
else before we wrap it up? Because I know it's been like an hour or two. And
Yeah, I'm ready. We should wrap it up. Yeah, I'm ready to
yeah,
wrap it
yeah.
up. And I'm good to go. I think that was wonderful. Thanks for having me on again. And I'm looking forward to the next one. So,
Yeah, sounds good. And also too, with the video that we were reacting to, I'll post it in the description. So if you guys want to support Cerebral Talks TV, she's a really cool content creator. She does a lot of research about not just like with like what's going on in the current events, but also with relationships and so much more. And if you want to sort of support another sister just doing their own thing, feel free to check her out. She's really cool. I know sometimes too she talks about certain men, and like I don't blame her because men are weird too, and some people are can be too. But when it comes to it, that, and she talks about women too, of course. But she keeps it real. So I like supporting other sisters and content creators who keep it real, like Cerebral, and of course you like the co-host here too. So the Shell Book by Candles. So if you guys ever want to check out Shell Books by Candles YouTube channel or Instagram, her links is in the description below. And if you guys ever want to reach out to me, if you want to just like subscribe to this channel, but also if you want to just inquire my services, if you want to learn more about Reiki or about molecular hydrogen water, if you want to just, make your own concoction or anything like that, essential oils too. Let me see if I can put my camera back when it comes to you with that. Just feel free to reach out to me. I'm not trying to like sell you something or anything like that. It's just like an offer, especially for those who want to support their nervous system or to want to make a income opportunity for yourself to really just make an income and to really just support yourself too. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm looking forward to the next podcast talking about different topics. And you guys take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, your nervous system, your energetic body, your physical body, your spiritual journey. Those kind of things too. I know how to put it in words, so being a light worker myself, I always wear the shirt when I'm talking about topics like wellness and all that. And that's pretty much it. So again, for those who are watching this live and watching the replay, we're all over the globe too. Here in America, South America, Europe, certain parts of Asia, Middle East. I thank you guys for watching. You guys take care and many blessings. So see ya.